So glad you are joining us today on this Wednesday. We're at the hump day, the middle of the week. Glad you're joining us as we look at Genesis chapter 23. It is the details about Sarah's burial and where she is buried and what Abraham did to make that happen. As we look at this, we might think, why all the details about Sarah's burial? Hopefully I can answer that question at the end. Genesis 23, beginning with verse 1. Sarah lived 127 years. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died at Arba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham went in to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham rose up from before the dead and said to the Hittites, I am a sojourner and a foreigner among you. Give me property among you for a burying place, that I may bury my dead out of sight. The Hittites answered Abraham, Hear us, my lord, you are a prince of God among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our tombs. None of us will withhold from you his tomb to hinder you from burying your dead. Abraham rose and bowed to the Hittites, the people of the land. And he said to them, If you are willing that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and entreat for me Ephron, the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he owns. It is at the end of his field. For the full price let him give it to me in your presence as property for a burying place. You see what's happening. Abraham, not being a native from there, being a sojourner, a visitor in the land of the Hittites, said that he wanted to buy a place, a tomb for her to live. They said, pick which one you want. We will give it to you. He says, no, I'll pay full price. I want the one from Ephron. Verse 10. Now Ephron was sitting among the Hittites, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the hearing of the Hittites, of all who went in at the gate of his city. No, my lord, hear me. I will give you the field. I will give you the cave that is in it. In the sight of the sons of my people, I give it to you. Bury your dead. Then Abraham bowed down before the people of the land. He said to Ephron in the hearing of all the people of the land, But if you will hear me, I give the price of the field. Accept it from me, that I may bury my dead there. Ephron answered Abraham, My lord, listen to me. A piece of land worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between you and me? Bury your dead. Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out for Ephron the silver that he had named in the hearing of the Hittites, 400 shekels of silver, according to the weight currents among the merchants. So the field of Ephron and Machpelah, which was east of Mamre, the field with the cave that was in it, and all the trees that were in the field throughout its whole area, was made over to Abraham as a possession in the presence of the Hittites before all who went in at the gate of the city. After this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave of the field. Now, I'm not sure if Ephron was just trying to be nice, trying to be polite, what it was, but he was going to give the land. Abraham insisted to pay that he wouldn't be really enslaved to anyone. He would pay what was owed. So that was his plan, and he made sure that happened, paying those 400 silver shekel coins or weights as according to the agreement. So why all this detail in this passage? I think it showed the respect that Abraham had for Sarah and the thanksgiving that he had for her in this life, of how he wanted to honor her even into death, to give her a place of land of her own. Even though he was a sojourner in the land, she now had a place where she could rest. This passage also points forward to the resurrection and the care that I believe we should take with our loved ones when they die. Prepare and care for the resting place of their bodies until the day of the resurrection, when it can be raised to new life, to be united with Christ for all eternity. Well, some will say, well, that's why we shouldn't cremate, right? No, that's not what it's saying. God can bring to dust from dust and create that new body. He can bring from the ash and create that new body. But God does want us to honor those and respect them and prepare them, bury them properly. Glad that you joined us again today. We're looking at another interesting passage, one you might not have heard too much about or remembered. Join us back again tomorrow, and we'll hear of how Abraham's son, Isaac, found his wife in a very unique way. Hope to see you then. God bless.